I would say like my penalty, and I kind of did this to myself. My issue is like there's like a hobby or something I want to go into. I like find the best person within my network that does it. So
Nice.
case in point, sushi. So during COVID, I really wanted to get into making sushi because I was spending way too much on sushi every week because it was my way of coping with everything. And so I was like, I just gotta learn how to make this stuff at home. So I watched YouTube videos. I'm like, okay, cool, this is cute. And then I remember going to get an omakase one day, and I sat by this chef that I love a lot, Jimmy Park. He runs Shoyo, but he was the first Korean chef for Nobu. I guess you guys know. So he's the first Korean chef for Nobu, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
I sat by his wife. Now, mind you, I am like a fanboy for Chef Jimmy Park. So I'm like, this is my in. I'm sitting right by his wife and his daughter. So of course, I'm like with my friends, like, hey, respectfully, I'm not going to talk to you for the rest of the night. I'm going to talk to them and try to win my way in. And I just become great friends with them. And then his daughter, to the point, Jimmy was like, hey, are you hitting on my wife? I'm like, no. I was one free to give me. And then once the shop closed, I ended up becoming like, they were like, oh, let's get dinner. And we ended up getting dinner the next weekend. And so when COVID was happening now, I was like, oh, let me hit him up and see if I can work under him. And I'd finish my day job 9 to 5 at IBM. And then from 6 to midnight, I go work as a stagiaire for, under Chef Jimmy Park. Nice. And his co-chef is actually Shin-san. And Shin-san was actually the corporate executive head chef for all of Nobu, which means that if you're working as a chef with Nobu, you have to go through this guy to get there. And so I was like, this could not get better. So of course I was like washing dishes too, because I'm still like the bottom of the tier. But on the side, he like put me on, okay, this is how we make it. This is how you do it. This is what you're looking for. I'm no expert, but I'm like, at least I can claim I'm better than like a YouTube.
This is dedication to your craft, right? Interesting to see. I've not heard it. I've not heard it from that kind of food perspective. To do your day job at IBM and then go and do that in the evening. The passion obviously is clear to see, right? But what's your motivation here? How do you go to that level?
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm sure you guys can resonate with this because I kind of want to spin the question back to you almost, right? I think when you're just curious about something, whether it be a business venture or anything, you're just really just trying to learn how people do it right now before you can even innovate or create on it, right? And I think it's like a lot of the lessons that y'all go through in your business endeavors and things like that. You're like, okay, yeah, this is a problem. I wonder how everyone else is currently solving it, and then trying to find the actual best solution. Or maybe it's a culmination of a lot of the other solutions, right? And I think when you go into like fusion food, that's kind of when you start seeing different places like, oh, this is how, like, for example, when I grew up, I'm Bengali. And so we always get pudding, right? And it's like, I think like Pakistanis also have like pudding. But like when I started learning Spanish, they're like, oh, like you're learning food items. And I'm like, why are they calling pudding flan? What is flan, And like, oh, they make it the exact same way, but two different parts of the world that weren't trading at the time came up with the same creation. And for me, that was like, that's really neat. And I think with food, yes, I went into this hobby with that mindset, but I think businesses or anything, it's just what mindset you have. The philosophy is the same, but the actions of what you're doing is different. Does that make sense?
Really interesting quote, I think, from a Japanese samurai, right? I don't know how many people he beats,
It's dual.
But
probably Musashi.
Musashi, I think so, because it's the way of the five rings.
Japan experts here.
I'll let my Japanese expert take it from here.
I've got a weird relationship with you. I mean, hey.
But the quote was something to the effect of when you see the path in one area, you see it in everything. And it's a wonderful thing. You look at the likes of Richard Branson. I know he's a controversial person with privatization of the NHS and stuff aside. When he's got that success formula blueprint in a particular sector, there's a lot of transferable skills, know-how, grit, tenacity, underlying characteristics, what we call meta skills that you can apply in other things as well. So that's why Zaim's question was a personal one. It's like, what is your why? What is that kind of thing that allows you to carry on outside of a 9 to 5 or a 3 or 5 to 9?
But to add to that, like the passion, right, obviously really comes across. And that's beautiful to see, right? When we look at founders, there are only some that are this passionate about a problem. When we say problem, it doesn't like literally like what's your problem? Like you really like steak, like it's not. It's not a problem, right? But you're passionate about a topic. You're the guy. I now know if I ever want to know anything about barbecue, right? Or food, right? I'm calling you, right?
Yeah.
Like, literally like, yeah, listen, like this is, because you studied it. You've become a student of knowledge in that area, right? Now, who do people want to invest in? Who do they want to work with? Who would you want on your team? You want the person who's that passionate about, I don't know, AI. It could be whatever it is, right? It's that level of like we try to call it things. We call it ihsan, right? For us, because we say, look, ihsan is that like you really go to the level on these things, right? You've done that, and you just a masterclass just unfolded just now, right? Great example, right? For I think every founder, right? Is that's how passionate you need to be about a topic to be the person who deserves to be backed. No, and I don't mean financially backed. I mean even backed in a brotherly way. When you turn around and say, okay, guys, I'm going to build something in this space. I don't think there's anyone sitting here or I think listening, right, will be like, no, he's not the guy.
Yeah.
Right? It's literally you're the guy, right? Because you're like, that's the person, that level of passion, I think what needs to come across.
That's what you meant. One thing to pick out from your story as well is when you mentioned it's almost like you got experts, that you go to, your go-to person for a particular thing. You said, I'm going to call up that person. And that's exactly what I want to bring on Dagan's point is individuals that have expertise, we go to them. And alhamdulillah, like within our community, we've got individuals that are experts, like mashallah, and that's why I went to Jasser for UI, UX related, design related. We've got brother Shabir, who's not with us, who's essentially a product expert, mashallah, with many hats, but essentially as our quote archetypal hustler who's able to steer us as well and kind of like push us through. And I'm on the journey, man. I'm on the journey essentially, man. So in essence, that specificity of what a T-shaped individual, right? You've got enough knowledge to make you dangerous. You're able to converse, like you've got enough. Talking a little bit about technicalities here, right? Let's say you're a founder, you want to develop an app. Know enough to be able to communicate with the people that are doing the back end or kind of the coding stuff and that are doing the design stuff, but you don't necessarily need to know everything, right? That's what we love to see. Not only people that are experts, but also what we call T-shaped. So they've got enough broad of basic information to be able to play in the game.
To add to that as well, is that once you have that overall knowledge, that's when you start respecting other work. And then that's when you become self-aware that you need a specialist or you need specific help. It's sometimes not arrogance, but ignorance. A lot of people, until they put themselves out there, don't actually know they need help in specific areas until they start needing help. It's a weird thing to say, but sometimes my background is like branding and UI. It's been doing it for 10 years. When I initially started, probably in that first, second, like you go around and like, there's so many people I can help with branding. Right, that person's logo can improve, especially brick and mortar shops when you're going past the high street here, right? And it's like old uncle, and he's been running a shop for maybe like 15, 20 years, and he's got the same logo, news agency or something that's been going on for years. You're like, I can come in and help you, uncle. Do you want to update this and update that? And they're like, not really, no. That's like, wait, you might help me get business. I got this far, but it's but then when things start to change, and like things shift, that's when everyone's like, oh. We panic and we don't prepare. We like we didn't think we needed it. COVID was a good example because just before that, me and my business partner, it would be really cool to do QR codes for like menus and other things, and we can NFC stickers and all this other really cool stuff. And then it didn't really take off. And then during COVID, everyone jumped on. And it was just timing things. Those that adjusted that really early, they were already equipped and they could actually have things in place. Going back to all your points, because there's been such good conversation, I think touching one more, underlining effect is principle. The principle is if you're a CEO or if you've done something already successfully.
You got Ray Dalio.
It's a great book, by the way. I feel like I reread that book almost every year. Yeah,
I think a lot of us do.
Agree.
So it's principles, right? Once you've got that principle and that framework, it's just reapplying it. The hard part is getting the passion. Is being 5 years old again, like absolutely obsessed with the world and wanting to learn everything. Going back to your Japan point,
There we go.
So,
I'm locked in for this.
so if you like Japanese culture, etc., like especially in the anime side, they call some people
Okay,
otaku.
you got my whole attention.
So you've heard otaku, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually not just applied to like people that like anime. So you can have a densha otaku, which basically means train otaku, and that's someone who just loves trains, and it's literally it's obsession to the point where you become an expert. That's the word what otaku is. It's like this. If you want to know about trains, you speak to that guy because he's got a train collection. He can see a picture and he'll tell you the train model. He'll tell you the route. He'll tell you who manufactured it. He'll tell you every single part number in that train and how to fix it. That's a level of like obsession that come. And you can sushi otaku. You could like they use that phrase.
We have one here.
We have one here, right? Yeah. But it's like that form of that they are an expert. It's the connotation of it is being changed. Obviously, as cultures evolved, but the real principle of that word is someone who's just an expert.